Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I am your host, Zen Sams. Now, up in just a few minutes, in our influencer segment brought to you by Biche Cucina, we are featuring Becca Lee. She's a social media influencer, a makeup artist, and a licensed esthetician. She has quite the story. Becca, for one, is beautifully birthmarked. She has a port wine stain on her face that gracefully defines her. She was born in South Korea and adopted when she was just 8 months old. She grew up in a small town in northern Minnesota with her parents and three older siblings who were also adopted from Korea. Now, blue nevus port wine stain is a vascular malformation. Her veins are close to the skin surface, which causes the reddish stain on her skin. Now, blue nevus is a bluish colored birthmark that resembles bruises. And in December of 2017, Becca decided that it was time to stop hiding and start sharing her birthmarks with the world on her social media channels. And throughout the past few years, Becca has used her platforms to share her passion for all things beauty and her journey for loving the skin she's in, birthmarks and all. She's here to remind us that self love starts when you stop comparing. Welcome to the show, Stunner.
Hi. So happy to be here.
You are so radiant, and I love your energy. Let's walk through how you have gotten to where you are at. So, when you were 7 years old, let's really talk about your how you are beautifully birthmarked. You went into a treatment with a new doctor who was operating a new laser machine, and
Mhm.
unfortunately the settings were too high and you ended up with severe burns on your face. What did that do to you in addition to having lived with your birthmark your entire life?
I remember being in school shortly thereafter, and I still had some of those remnants of the burn left. And I just remember going into the bathroom one time, and there was another little kid in there with me, and they were just like staring at me. And I was just absolutely mortified at the time. I was so embarrassed. I was very self conscious. And I think that kind of really is when it started, that whole journey of me being really self-conscious about my birthmark, because I think up until that point it wasn't really something that affected me all that much. It was just people knew I had a birthmark and it was just normal. But after that, I definitely became more self-aware of my birthmark.
So, and you hide it really beautifully when you do cover it up with with your makeup tactics. I mean, I see the before and afters, and you couldn't even tell you ever had a birthmark. But I love the fact that you wear it proudly. Now, you did 25 to 30 laser treatments from the time you were a baby until about 12 years old, and the treatments initially proved effective, but then by the time you were 12, you were no longer seeing a progression in the lightening of your birthmarks, and you decided to stop. What was it like for you as a teenager?
For me as a teenager, I started wearing makeup when I was in sixth grade. Again, that was because I was, you're in middle school, everybody's already awkward and self conscious. And so there was just like an added level to that with me having my birthmark. And I think all through my teenage years, I found it really difficult to fully um, kind of embrace those teenage years and feel comfortable in like liking boys and doing the normal teenage stuff, because I was so self-conscious of my birthmark. And I would literally get up in the morning, like even at a friend, like one of my best friend's house, I would get up at like 7 a.m. just to put on makeup before everyone else woke up, kind of thing. So it definitely hindered me in a lot of ways, and it was a big part of like how I felt about myself.
I love it that you are so open because you're helping so many women right now, whether there's a birthmark they are feeling self-conscious about, or something about their physique that doesn't allow them to feel 100% comfortable. So your openness is very inspirational, and I want to highlight that you once said that you thought that how could any guy be interested in you, and you'd stare in the mirror disgusted and wondering, why you, and that's when makeup became your security blanket. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I think again, that was just part of when I grew up. I just felt like no guy would ever love me because of the way I looked, and that like at the time, that was when I looked in the mirror, all I could see was my birthmark. And to me, it was just so ugly and hideous at the time. And I just couldn't get past that.
Okay, so now we're gonna go to the fun stuff and the beautiful stuff of your story. You are married, happily married now. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And about a year ago, you joined TikTok on a whim. You didn't think it was gonna really do much, and it was just something to do for fun, to share your passion, so to speak, for makeup. And within the first month, you had over 75,000 followers. And from there, things only grew quicker. And you started now to become noticed by large makeup companies such as Laura Mercier and Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez, and so much more, all because you chose to share your birthmark with the world. Tell me what projects you have lined up, and tell me how this has changed your life.
I have a lot of projects coming up that I'm super excited about that I can't talk about necessarily, but just even going back to all the projects I've worked on in the past, I mean, I remember the days when it was like, I wish I could afford to buy these brands, right? Like Laura Mercier, and the high-end brands you find in Sephora. And um, I was part of the Sephora squad this past year, which was really, really cool opportunity, just being able to further share my birthmark and my love of beauty. It's just been such an exciting ride, and I can't believe I get to be on it.
It's beautiful that you're so comfortable about who you finally are, and your heritage, and how your parents have really kind of helped shape you into who you are today. I think it's such a beautiful story. I see your work on social media, and you're quite talented. Tell me about your career and what types of clients you focus on.
So I focus on a lot of bridal clients would probably be my main bread and butter of what I get to do, but it's probably like the most fun thing, right? Because everybody's just excited and happy on their wedding day, and it's so much fun to like just make someone feel like extra beautiful on their special day.
And making people feel extra beautiful, I saw in your posts, makes you feel extra beautiful. And I love that you are always living vicariously through the people's faces that you are beautifully painting. Your husband is quite your pillar, because I see on your social media, you guys, you definitely have to check her out on social media at Becca Lee Beauty. You guys are the cutest couple. How has this changed his perspective on things?
I think that Dalton has always just been such an open-minded person, and just like he's just such a genuine, caring person. But for him, I think he's found it really cool to just see that I've been able to blossom into who I am. Because even in the beginning of our relationship, I was much less comfortable. I was definitely not as comfortable as I am now. Being open about my birthmark. And so for him, I think it's exciting to see like this journey of self-love and like growth in where I'm at with loving myself and my birthmark.
And I think it's just so beautiful that when finally one feels comfortable in their own skin, right? It's the old saying, but that couldn't hold more true to your story, that you're finally at that really comfortable place. So I commend you, and I take my hat off to you, and thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks so much for having me. I've loved it.
You guys have to check out Becca. She's all over the internet doing such amazing things, transforming faces. And you also have to check out her incredible feed, because it's very inspirational. That was our influencer segment, brought to us by Biche Cucina. Make sure you check out Becca Lee at Becca Lee Beauty. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. We'll be right back after this.